Hey, seventh graders, today is Tuesday, December 1st. We made it to the last month of the year. Yay! And today, our essential question is we are going to be looking at the biological levels of organization and a little bit between the relationship between abiotic and biotic factors. So, excuse me, by the end of today, you should be able to answer those two essential questions. So as you're getting started for today, you'll want to click on the bell ringer. Sorry, this is not going to go to the right slide for us, but it will when you click on it. I'm ahead of my game here. All right. So what you're doing today is you're going to open up your biome graphic organizer that we made a copy of yesterday, and also make a copy of this biological levels of organization pyramid and save it in your Science 7 Google folder. We'll be using both of those today. So, a brief review from yesterday's activities. So, yesterday, our essential question was, what are the relationships between the predator, the hunter, and the prey, which is the hunted? And in what ways do they affect one another? Well, the relationship between a predator and prey in any ecosystem is a very strong relationship. And as one group of organisms increases, the other ones decrease, and vice versa. And so, what we learned yesterday looking at the wolves on Isle Royale is that as the number of the predators decreased, the amount of prey increased because there was nothing hunting them. They had nothing killing them off except for natural causes. And what happens then is it causes the food that those prey are eating to eventually decrease, and then there's not enough food for them, and then they'll eventually die off as well. And so an example here is when the wolf numbers were decreased, the number of deer increased. And as the number of deer increase, the amount of vegetation decreases because they're eating it all, because there's so many of them. And then the deer die out or have to move elsewhere to find food. Once we introduce more predators, so more wolves into that ecosystem, okay, they hunt the prey or hunt the deer, and then the deer numbers decrease, and then there's not as many deer eating all of the vegetation, and so the vegetation can grow back as well. And so we maintain a balanced ecosystem. And we'll talk a little bit more about that balance as we go on, but it's a very important balance between predator and prey and the amount that there are of each of those in a specific ecosystem. Okay, so that was yesterday's review there. I know some of you maybe did not finish your um, graphic organizer, your biome, those questions that you had to do, but you should have some time to do those today if you haven't done so. All right, so we are going to start by watching a video called Wolves Changed the River, and this one's really cool. So we've been talking about different biotic, which means living, and abiotic factors. Abiotic factors are non-living factors. And abiotic factors and biotic factors can have an effect on one another. So what I want you to do is to watch, to think about, is it possible for organisms to affect the abiotic parts of an ecosystem? Why or why not? If you're in class, we're going to be watching this together and then talking about it. If you are absent, I'm going to have you put a post in here. Okay, so if you don't show up to the Google Meet, you need to do the discussion post. So what surprised you after watching the video? Okay, so go ahead and watch that. All right, and the main activity for today is called the Pyramid of Life. So if you click on that, it will open up here. Our essential question for today is, what are the biological levels of organization? And so we can organize things from smallest to largest, and this is how we can organize different levels of life or different groups of organisms. So what you're going to do is you should have already made a copy of this biological levels of organization pyramid. It's kind of a wordy title there. Okay. And what you are going to do is you are going to watch this video on the pyramid of life. And then it says rewatch the video as needed and fill in the chart by sliding the terms to where they belong in the pyramid. And so let me show you what this looks like. I probably already have like 12 copies of this, but that's okay. And so all you're doing is you can use this pretty one with the different colors in it. Or on the third slide, there is just a black and white one. It's up to you. Pick whichever one you choose. You do not need to do both. And you are going to just drag each of these different levels of organization into where they belong in the pyramid. Okay, so you can drag those boxes to wherever you need to. Okay. All right. And so that's what you are doing. Something else I want you to think about as you're doing this. There's two terms in here that might not be super familiar to you. It's population and community. And I want you to think about what the difference between those two terms is. All right. The second slide of the slideshow just has another copy of that same video. And then the third slide is the black and white one. It doesn't matter to me which one you use. You can delete whichever slide you're not using. All right. So that is what you're doing here. Okay, then the final thing on your biome graphic organizer, you are going to identify two populations from your chosen biome and one community from your chosen biome. Okay, and so that's right in that biomes graphic organizer. And then if you didn't finish your biome graphic organizer from yesterday, make sure that you do that as well, where you're looking at the different predator and prey relationships. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.